You know that moment when a conversation ends and hours later you're still replaying it? The tone, the pause, the way they looked at you when you said that one sentence. Most people move on, but you don't. If you're someone who overthinks, your brain doesn't just experience life. It analyzes it, rewinds it, reconstructs it. And today we're breaking down the psychology of people who overthink. Because overthinking isn't random, it's not weakness, and it's definitely not stupidity. It's a pattern, and it usually starts somewhere deeper. First, let's clear something up. Overthinking is not the same as thinking deeply. Deep thinking solves problems. Overthinking loops problems. Psychologists often describe overthinking as rumination. It's when your brain keeps circling the same thought without reaching resolution. It feels productive, but it rarely is. So why do some people overthink more than others? One major reason is threat detection. Your brain's job is survival. And for some people, that system is more sensitive. If you grew up in unpredictable environments, if you were criticized often, if mistakes had big consequences, your brain learned something. Scan everything, analyze everything, prevent future pain. Overthinking becomes a form of protection. If you can replay every conversation, maybe you won't embarrass yourself next time. If you imagine every worst-case scenario, maybe you won't be blindsided. It feels like control. But it's actually anxiety wearing a thinking mask. There's also something called the illusion of control. Overthinkers often believe, if I just think about this a little longer, I'll find the perfect answer. But some questions don't have perfect answers, and uncertainty is uncomfortable. So the brain keeps spinning, not because you're irrational, but because your nervous system hates ambiguity. Another layer? Overthinkers are often highly self-aware. You notice subtle changes in tone, you pick up on micro-expressions, you sense shifts in energy. That sensitivity can make you empathetic, insightful, observant, but without boundaries, it turns inward. And suddenly, every neutral reaction feels personal. She responded late. He sounded different. Did I say too much? Your brain fills the gaps with worst-case interpretations, not because you're dramatic, but because your mind prefers a painful story over no story at all. At least pain feels certain. There's also perfectionism hiding inside overthinking. You want to get it right, say it right, do it right, be understood correctly. So before you act, you simulate every possible outcome. But here's the catch. Action reduces anxiety. Thinking prolongs it. Overthinkers often delay decisions, not because they're incapable, but because they care too much about choosing wrong. Now here's the part most people don't talk about. Overthinking can become addictive, not chemically, but psychologically. It gives you the illusion that you're working on the problem. You feel responsible, diligent, prepared, but you're just stuck in a mental treadmill, lots of movement, no progress. So how do you know if you're overthinking or just reflecting? Ask yourself, is this thought helping me act or just helping me worry? If it doesn't lead to action, clarity, or acceptance, it's probably rumination, and rumination feeds anxiety. But here's something important. Overthinkers are not broken. In fact, many overthinkers are intelligent, conscientious, and emotionally aware. The issue isn't that you think too much. It's that your brain doesn't know when to stop. The real skill isn't thinking less. It's learning to tolerate uncertainty, to let a conversation end without autopsying it, to let a decision stand without reopening it, to let silence exist without filling it with fear. That's growth, and maybe the most freeing realization is this. Most people are not thinking about you nearly as much as you think they are. They're too busy overthinking themselves. So tell me, do you overthink because you care deeply, or because you're afraid of getting it wrong? And if this video felt uncomfortably accurate, the next one might hit even harder. Watch it. You might finally understand your mind instead of fighting it.